I'm starting to work on these grill screen moldings here, and I'm finding these screws. Been using this, and I put a little penetrant on both sides. I don't know if these have been changed or if they're original. I'm assuming that maybe they've been off because this car wasn't, from what I understand, the collision was kind of more, the car was hit kind of this way from when I talked to the guy I bought it from. And you know, this front corner here was damaged from what I understand. And so I don't know if these were changed out. You know, I had two screws are missing here, and here it's a screw with a square nut on the bottom, and they're seized up. I got this from turning, but the nuts turning with it. I think this one is too, so I got to find a wrench to hit the nut, get on the nut. And this one here, I sprayed them all with penetrant both sides down here and up here, and just see if I can get them freed up. That's what's holding them in, is a screw and a nut that a 3/8 wrench fits. Yeah, that thing was really seized on there. I might have to cut the other ones off. I spent probably 15 minutes working on getting that one out, and got 3 more to go. Screw number 2 came out without any effort at all. Can totally see why these have never been off. I can't even, I've been trying to get a wrench on the underside of the nut. That screw head stripped out, and I can't get a wrench on it because I can't see what I'm doing. And then to get this molding off, I can't see, and my brother has my inspection camera, so I can't get in there to see what the heck I'm doing to get things apart. And no wonder why I've never changed these. Yeah, there's one of the molding clips. It's turning into a nightmare. Been working on it for an hour and got 2 screws out. Yeah, I don't know how GM put these things on unless they put it on with this panel off the car. I've lost my socket in there now. There's a little hole where you can, and I don't have my inspection camera to see what the heck I'm doing, so I'm working totally blind. I can't even retrieve my socket now. Well, I'm about to quit for the day. I'm getting really frustrated. Every one of these clips broke. It was a nightmare just getting a socket in there. And then this one I've tried to break off, and I just can't get it. I'm going to have to grind it. I've tried tightening it to break it off, and I can't even get a socket on that one. I don't know how GM put these in. They must have done it when this panel was off the car. I just covered everything up. There's no getting around getting these. That's not coming out, and that's not coming out. So I got my Dremel with a cutter. I'm going to get this screw cut off, get this off, and then I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to have to replace all those clips. All that is original, factory original. It looks like there's a clip there that I got to get at yet. And yeah, hopefully I can find, I mean, I think these kind of clips here are pretty common, so I should be able to find a set of these. I'll straighten them up and measure them and see they're kind of bent because I had to grab them with some vice grips, and then when I turned them it just snapped them off. And yeah, I don't think these were put on after the car. I think these were put on during assembly, before, like I say, before this panel was installed on. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see how anyone can reach in there. I'd have to bore a hole in the core support or take this panel off, or which I'm not doing. But anyway, let me grind that stuff out. So far that little bit of work has been 2 hours. Yep, that was the only way to do it. The broken screw's still in there, so I got to fish that out. But I didn't really damage that. It looks like I'm gonna have to reuse these metal brackets. You can see there's a little aluminum rivet on there. I'm gonna have to see if I can find some just like it on the internet. I don't want screws in there. I want that riveted. I think they're just aluminum rivets, and might even be able to carefully pull them off, straighten them out, and then repeen them. I'm going to try, because if I can't find them, I want it to look original. So I'm going to try and reuse those. But there's the grill screen molding. That's after 64 years. You can see where the paint, you know, just didn't do well because it's never been really sanded out or painted in there. I think that's what oversprayed in there. That's original, 64 years old. Never been, these have never been off the car. So we got those off. Now let me get that other molding clip out and then we'll work on the other side. I took the horns off, get them out of the way. I can reach in here now to get that. But I think I'm going to take this off too. And then I'm going to put some cardboard in front of the radiator to kind of protect it. So if I have a wrench or something slip, I don't put a hole in the radiator. Looks like the radiator could use a coat of paint. Needs cleaning and painting. I have no idea when that radiator, that's been in there probably 35, 40 years. It's been a long time since I've done anything with the radiator, maybe even longer. Put the horns in the trunk for safekeeping, but you can see they actually look really good. I blasted and painted these many years ago, and they look really nice. So I'm gonna be careful of them. And we got all the new trim here. I know there's no molding clips in there. I'll have to get the molding clips, and I think these grill screens don't come with those little rivets. So I'll have to find some rivets. I don't remember what's in here. Something to do with the trim on the front of the car. I think those are the hood moldings, and I don't know. I'll get it all out. And these are the eyebrow moldings. I don't know what these are. We'll find out when we get into it. Yeah, it was one of the hood moldings. This one right here, in fact. It's got a little blemish in it right there, and that's about it. And I might be able to polish that out a little bit. I'll just hit these with some Neverdol or something and some car wax, but looks a heck of a lot better than what's there, that's for sure. It'll look nice. That's NOS. Maybe the other ones, maybe I only had 3 in that box, and that's why there's this one separate, because maybe I didn't have all of them. Let me look in the box. Nope, they're all, I got all the moldings here, so I got an extra one of these, so I'll just pack one of them away. But yeah, I got them all, so they're upper and lower, all the moldings there. To get this off, you have to unbolt the latch from this, and then unbolt this from the car, and this comes off. This is going right into the bead blast cabinet, but this I'm not going to bead blast. But you can see there was washers on here to shim this down. So I don't know if this needs to go up to close the hood tighter or what. You know, sometimes like these, a lot of people I see, you know, their hoods will lift here when they drive their car, and they'll push the hood down when they park. And they just don't know how to adjust the hinge right. So if your hood's popping up back here, you loosen this bolt and raise this up. It allows the hinge to close more, and it'll tighten it up down there. A lot of people will loosen that up and push it down thinking that's going to lower their hood here, but it'll actually raise it. So it's deceiving here, because that's actually opens the hinge up, and then the spring will pull the hood up. So that's why you got to bring those up, and the spring will pull the hood down. So just a little thing there. But anyway, the radiator's clear. Let me find a piece of cardboard to shove in there to protect it, and we'll continue disassembling things. I'm going to repaint this whole header panel. You know, I'll mask it here. I'm not going to repaint this down here, because when I did the car originally, I welded in there was a seam, I think here or here somewhere between the fender and this panel, and I didn't like it, so I welded it in, and so now, you know, there's no seam there. But for a tape line, if I wanted to paint this piece, I suppose I could put a tape line here and put the seam back in, grind it out, but I'm not going to. And so anyway, I'm just gonna horse around with getting the rest of this cleaned up so I can grind these out and get them welded up. And hopefully this won't take more than, I mean, when I can work on it, I'm hoping that I can get this done within a reasonable amount of time, a couple weeks from start to finish, because I'm not going to work on it every single day. Well, hopefully that protects the radiator while guess that bit of tape there isn't going to stick while I'm working on it here. Major pain to get that off. You know, these fasteners, let me see if I can hold the camera upside down in there. See those holes? That's where the fasteners are. And I just can't see what the heck I'm doing. So those are for the grill, those fasteners right there. You can see where the grill attaches. So yeah, they're just a nightmare to get in because I can't see what I'm doing. And on top of that, every single fastener for both moldings broke. These are the fasteners for that molding. These are the fasteners for that molding. That actually goes over there too. So I have to find some new clips here because, like I say, every single one of them broke. And we're probably going to break all these ones too. Wow, was that a pain? Boy, did I use some absolutely wild magic words on that. Yeah, I used some pretty bad magic words actually. These, I had to grind them both off on each end. There's no way I could reach in here with any kind of tool whatsoever. I can get my finger in the hole. See my finger in there maybe. But I cannot get any tool in there on the nut. I just couldn't do it. So I don't know, maybe that clip won't be fastened. I don't know, I got to get new clips. I was actually able to get 3 of these, well, yeah, 3 of them without breaking them. But this end one had this different type of clip on it, so I don't know. I think this clip was into this clip somehow, and I didn't see one. Oh yeah, there is one on this side. Okay. So maybe this is part of the molding and I'll just have to get this piece. If not, we'll fix something up, but make it work. But I'm gonna, looks like it's something that went into the hole, you know, and then slid in to tighten it, you know, like you put it over something and slide it in. I don't know, but well, so I'm assuming these are in the new trim. And I got to reuse these things again. So I'm going to buff these rivets and see if I can, well, they're pretty corroded. I might not be able to reuse them, but I'm going to try. If I can't find them, I'm going to have to look tonight on the internet, see if I can find these clips. You know, just, they need to be replaced. I haven't even started on these moldings yet, or the turn signals. I've had them out and I've had these off. So I'm hoping they're not a nightmare, but these have never been off the car, as you can see. So they're a nightmare. But anyway, now I can grind this out and weld them shut. And this thing's pretty flimsy now. So it might be that this just needs to be adjusted with the hood latch to pull that up. And I'm going to try and get that fit better between there. I don't know if I can close the hood. Yeah, with all the towels and stuff, it's not going to close, but I'm going to horse with getting this welded up next and then get it all sanded out and ready for paint. I got to get these little rubber things off try and get them off without destroying them. There's no getting in there. There's a back panel. So yeah, you can see it's a skin over, I don't know if that, there is, it's a skin over another metal. It's 2 pieces there. And I have this piece, this assembly NOS. I have a lot of body sheet metal for 59s. This NOS, I have one of those NOS. I got the headlight bucket. Actually, the whole headlight assembly NOS, right down to the headlights. I got the, I should dig it out, dig some of this stuff out. It's just boxed up and packaged up, except the quarter panel. I have a rear quarter panel NOS, but that's not any packaging. Neither is this piece or this piece here. But a lot of the other sheet metal odds and ends I have are in like the headlight bucket assemblies are in GM boxes. They're brand spanking new. If I ever thought, well, if I ever redo this car or do a Parkwood up or something and I need them, you know, I have them. So, and I've never, they're the original headlights that are in the new headlight assemblies, and I've never taken them out and put them in this car because, you know, it's nice to have that NOS set. I could put a whole assembly in a car if I want. And I drive this car all the time, so if a headlight gets broken, I wouldn't cry, you know, ruining one of those 59 NOS T3s. So, yeah, I'm just, you know, I love to drive this car. I've put, I think, 5 or 6 windshields in it since I've owned them, and I do them myself. I took it into a glass shop once, and they made such a mess of the car that I've done them myself since, and they're pretty easy to do. They're, you know, the biggest part is getting you got to take all the interior trim, all the exterior trim. You got to pull a headliner down enough to get the nuts to get this trim off. And then what I do is I pull the rubber back and push the windshield out with the rubber on it, complete, undamaged. And if the rubber's not cracked, you can reuse it. But then I'll put the rubber on the new glass with a rope in the channel that goes into the pinch weld, full of sealer too. And I'll set it down into the channel here, and the ropes will be hanging down, and I'll just start pulling them equally so it comes out. The windshield will just drop in there slightly. You can put your fist through here where the dog leg is, but the windshield just sitting there, and you start pulling it out, pulling the rope out, it just drops right in. And the rubber, or the rope, pulls the rubber back out so it drops over the pinch weld. I've done front and rear glasses on these cars many times, and they're surprisingly, they look like they'd be a nightmare, but they're not really that bad. The rear windows are pretty easy too. This car had clear glass in it when I bought it, and I put the Easy Eye in out of a wrecked one that was T-boned. A T-bone, you can see where the glass is damaged right there because the car was a Ford drunk in a Ford Tempo. It was a 60 Impala 4-door sedan that was silver one. It was a fully loaded. It had 348 power glide, power steering, power brakes. I think it had power windows. It had a lot of options on it, and this drunk went off the road in his Tempo and T-boned it. It actually didn't hurt this window, but the door was pushed almost to the transmission hump. The car was smashed to about here. The seat was buckled up, and yeah, the car was totaled. It was a nice, solid, original car, so this guy bought it for parts, and he was restoring a convertible and needed a whole drivetrain, which he got out of the car, but I wanted the Easy Eye glass. He just gave it to me. He's like, it's 4-door stuff. It has no value. Take it. It's yours. And that was in the 80s, so I did. And that's how this car got Easy Eye glass. It states right on it. See if I can find where, I don't know if it shows up in the video or not, but it does state Easy Eye there and there. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I need to put something black behind it. But yeah, so that's kind of a little story on how this car got Easy Eye glass. I was looking at, you know, having to take the glass out. These weather strips were all cracked and they leaked water. So I was going to have to take the glass out to put the new weather stripping in. And I thought, well, now that I had Easy Eye glass from that car, I would swap it out. So that's what I did. Now you can see what I got to weld up pretty good there and here. So I'm going to probably tomorrow, it's getting late now because I didn't expect it to take me 4 hours to get 4 pieces of trim off the car. Anyway, I'll weld these up tomorrow and grind the welds out and get this all sanded out and ready to prime up. I think I might work on trying to take these out without damaging them so I don't have to buy new ones. So that's, you know, one less thing I have to purchase. Yeah, I'm ultra surprised these little things came out, and they're in good shape, so I'll just reuse them. And I think that's going to look nice when it's all done. Get all that nastiness all in here fixed up. When the hood was open, you know, it kind of looked bad in there. I was just taking some of these rivets out to see. I buffed it before I take it out in case if I have to reuse it, but I think I took it out so I could do some measuring, see what sizes there. I'm gonna try and find some new ones, and I gotta take these off because the new screens don't come with them, and I'm gonna bead blast and paint them. So I'm just going to slowly work on taking these off and try and save the little rivet without destroying them. I'm just taking a little screwdriver and just basically tapping the edge straight up until this loosens up and comes off. And then I just take my punch and tap them out of the trim, and that's what I end up with. So we've got one out. Let's see if we can get the rest out, and then I can bead blast these components and prime them up. These are super easy to get off. No problem at all. I just, like I say, I lightly tap the edge out, and then just twist these off and tap them out with a punch. Throw these in the bead blast cabinet. These are the driver's side. So I'm going to prime them up and hang them on that to where I know they're the driver's side of the car. So I'll hang them such to where when I hang those, they're to the right of these. Now you can see why I have the pliers in my cabinet. Yeah, my air compressor wasn't pumped up, sorry. So you're gonna hear a little bit of noise. These things clean up pretty quick and easy. Yeah, these will be nothing to... All right, let me get these all blasted clean and primed up. I just gave these all a good bead blast. This is the end one right here, I believe. And this one has a little C stamped in it right there. And then one of these, this one right here says BTC. I don't know if that shows up in the video or not. That one goes there. And then this one, that one has a BTC in it also, and that one goes there. And there, that's the order they go in. Anyway, I'm gonna give them a prime. If somebody has a '59 Chevy, Martin or Ryan or somebody could look and tell me what color these are on an original one. I think these were plated, and the reason why I think that they're plated is you can see some residual plating there that I tried not to blast off just so I could show you when the paint came off. I think that I'm going to paint these black because, you know, these are right directly behind this, and if they're plated, you'll kind of, you know, it'll look silvery behind it, and you'll clearly see them, to where if they're black, like a satin black, maybe you won't see them. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. But if somebody let me know what these little bits originally were finished with, I'd appreciate it. Like I say, I think they were plated. We'll get the metal etch primer shook up and get the molding clips primed. I just got the other 3 pieces of trim off. I'm going to bead blast and prime them. I managed to get all the rivets out without destroying them. I think I could probably, if I have to, reuse them. I buffed them before I removed them, so if I have to reuse them, they'll at least be shiny on the side you see. I just don't want screws. I'm going to take one of those in and see if I can find these, and also I'm going to take this in and see if I can find some molding clips too. So that's my agenda for tonight. I'm going to quit here as soon as I get those other ones bead blasted, but I got these all primed up. You can see that BTC much better now. Got the other 3 all cleaned up. You can see the C on that one clearly. Anyway, they're all cleaned up. I'm going to shoot them with some metal etching primer and call it a night. Got them all primed up. Tomorrow I'll weld these holes up and start getting this ready to paint. And I think it's painted under these, so I don't think all I'm going to do is change these, and the same with the turn signal ones. But this was the one that's never had any work done on it, so that's why when I have to paint, fix this up and paint it a little bit, I might have to, when I get the welding and grinding, put stuff in here to protect the course support. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked it, definitely hit the like button. It certainly helps. If you like my channel, I have 348 engine icon that pops up there will subscribe you. And thank you for watching my video.